So tell me about
I'm like, okay.
the 2 times in your life when you feel the most spiritual.
Okay, so as I was telling Patrick, yay PunkTorah, as I was telling Patrick about how I feel most religious, it's 2 times. I've been to Israel 3 times, and this has nothing to do with Israel. This has nothing to do with shul. This has nothing to do with like anything that encompasses your like standard Judaism. The 2 times that I am most like religious and spiritual, one, when I moved into my condo and I was koshering my kitchen, I had to toivel. Well, I had to toivel all brand new dishes and pots and pans because I'd never had my own before, and my goyish roommate probably would have traced them all up, saying that he ate shrimp and pork and lathered like the cheese on all of it. So I had all this stuff going on, and I like bring this freaking car full of stuff, and the rabbi explains to me that in toiveling you have to say a bracha, toivel all your dishes, you cannot talk in it, so there's no cell phone, there's like no iPod blasting. I'm like, it's complete like me, this like extravagant bathtub, my dishes, and Hashem, right? So like, I'm like, okay, so I'm toiveling, and each one has to go in separately, and I'm making sure, and I'm like being extra cautious, and you know, the Chabad, thank you Chabad of, I should give like props, Chabad of Yorba Linda, thank you for like helping me and letting me use your mikvah, it was beautiful. And I'm just like, I'm in awe because I've never been in a mikvah for myself. Gentlemen, I'm single, so alright. So I'm like toiveling, and I realize like, I want to say something. Like, I just want to say something. And so I realize like, I'm having a conversation with Hashem,
right,
but it's not verbal because I can't open my mouth. So it's just like every thought that's on my mind about like generations of women and generations of Jews, and like how like what I'm doing is so spiritual that it was actually the most amazing experience of my life. 2.5 hours by myself, me, a bathtub, you know, some pots and pans, and like, that was it.
Sounds like a very romantic time there.
It was absolutely amazing. And I realized as I came out of there, like the first thing I wanted to do was talk, but the only thing I wanted to talk about is how amazing it was to not talk, which was like a total paradigm of like what had just happened and contradiction, but I loved it. The second thing that I found is most spiritual for me is I play on an all-Jewish team called the Matzah Ballers. We are the most amazing team because we're consistent. We've never had a win. We play in Huntington Beach. But every once in a while, when I'm really bad at second base, they'll throw me. Scott says it's really nice. He just wants to change it up a little bit. Thank you, Scott. He's our coach. But he puts me in outfield, and I feel like Tevye. It's the only time outside of the mikvah that like I talk to God when I'm in traffic, but like God hears all the swear words that are coming out of my mouth, like, and I'm sure God's like, hey, that's chill, but like I know that he's not really totally excited to hear what I've got to tell him at that moment. However, I get so spiritual in the outfield, and like all I want to do is talk to God. I want to tell God, please, number one, if the ball comes to me, put it in the mitt this time, not the nose, because that really hurt. But, you know, there's other times where I'm like, God, things aren't going so well for me, or things are going great, thank you so much. But all this comes out in the outfield. So, like, the angels in the outfield bullshit that they talk about, maybe Elijah and I are kicking it on the outfield, and Elijah's like, talk to Hashem, talk to Hashem. So, like, those are my 2 most spiritual moments, the mikvah and the outfield.